Cowboy fans. I'm sorry. You got screwed. I said it at the top of hour one. You got screwed on the pass interference call. But if you take away that call late, which might have gotten you into overtime, it might have given you a shot to take another pass into the end zone. If you take away that play, the bigger issue I think that is out there for Cowboy fans is you're the same team you were last year. Last year, the Dallas Cowboys couldn't win a close game. They were 1-6 in one-score games. You saw Jerry Jones kind of pumping his fist. Now's the time. You got the ball back. You got the stop. You got the ball back with 2.5 minutes to go and one timeout. All you needed to do was get a field goal, get into extra time, into overtime. And for almost every play on that final 2.5 minutes, the Rams won. The Rams' defensive line, you couldn't block them. They were getting a lot of pressure on Dak Prescott. Credit to Dak for making a good throw to Michael Gallup on one play. But if you go back and you score those plays for an offense or a defense, almost every single one was won by the Rams. Now, I think Jalen Ramsey got the benefit of the doubt on that call. I think being the highest paid cornerback in the history of the league gets you those calls. That was a superstar call. I think he sold it a little bit. Saw the same kind of sell going on with, honestly, the Chargers. You waking up this morning in L.A., both of the L.A. football teams won their games because their corners sold an offensive pass interference call. And I'm not sure, I'm pretty confident the Michael Gallup one was garbage. I'm not even sold on the idea that A.J. Green's pass interference was 100% pass interference either. And if you didn't see the end of the Bengals-Chargers game, Joe Burrow drove his team down the field, hits A.J. Green, who's created space, puts the ball exactly where it needs to be. But did A.J. Green push off, or was that a little bit of a flop? Are we starting to see flopping everywhere in sports? Remember back in the day, they used to make fun of Euro basketball players for how much they flopped and Euro soccer players for how much they flopped, and now everybody in pretty much every sport flops all the time. Everybody's a theater major. Used to be like, oh, nobody's going to take a dive like they do in soccer. Now you see it happening everywhere. Now we even got football players taking dives. Ref even took a little bit of a dive. Did you see the helmet to the chest? He can't touch the ref. That was a bad decision. But in the Bears and the Lions game, the helmet to the chest, that was a questionable decision. He was trying to demonstrate what had happened to him, and he put his helmet into the chest of the official, and he immediately got kicked out because you're not allowed to make contact with an official. But the official sold it a little bit. Everybody exaggerates contact. Everybody's James Harden in the paint now. And I thought that both of those calls, you just don't see offensive pass interference called a lot, and usually it has to be pretty egregious. And I got to be honest with you, I thought when Michael Gallup got hit, I said, you know what, maybe this is a new Cowboy team. And then, boom, right back to where the Cowboys have been in the past. So I'm disappointed if I'm waking up this morning and I'm a Cowboy because I thought, hey, we're the same team that we already were. You know who looked different? Cam Newton. I think there are a lot of different storylines that you can dive into. But to me, Cam looked like already a different player. And this is why you just heard us talking about at the end of hour two. This is why Bill Belichick's investment in Cam Newton was so brilliant. If Cam doesn't work out, and already he's got one win, and by the way, I didn't think the Patriots looked that good. I watched most of that game. But Cam's already got one win, all right? If by chance Cam isn't that great, let's say he can't keep up the 15 carries. He can't score 2 rushing touchdowns a game. He's not going to be able to run the ball as frequently or as healthily as he did in his first week. What do the Patriots care? If Cam can't be a playmaker all year, they go to Jarrett Stidham. And they say, okay, Jarrett Stidham, are you our guy? And if the answer is no, they go back into the draft. They had a bunch of dudes who start for them normally decide not to play this year. If all of that falls apart for Bill Belichick, he says, you know what, I spent $1 million on Cam Newton. It didn't work out. It was an investment worth making. But the reason right now why I think it could make a lot of sense is because Cam doesn't have $1 million at stake. This is why Belichick is such a genius. The New England Patriots have $1 million at stake with Cam Newton. If it doesn't work out in the grand scheme of things, that is nothing. Cam Newton's got $75 or $100 million at stake. Why do I say that? Well, because if Cam plays like he played today and continues to get better, 15-19 passing, able to manage the offense, able to look as explosive and dynamic and healthy as he did, he's going to make another $75 or $100 million. Somebody is going to sign Cam Newton to a contract to be their starting quarterback. It might be the New England Patriots. Somebody will say this guy is worth $20 or $25 million at a minimum, and they will bring him in to be their guy. He'll get $75 or $100 million more because he's still not that old by quarterback age standards. If it doesn't work out for him, the Patriots go to Jarrett Stidham. They find out if he's the guy or they're back in the draft. They wasted $1 million. Cam Newton's career is mostly over because he's not going to be a guy who stands on the sideline and holds the clipboard. He wanted to be an icon, Cam did. And if you win with the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick, you are an icon. So we have one team, the Dallas Cowboys, with a star quarterback in Dak Prescott, who looked pretty much the same as they did last year. Couldn't close the deal, couldn't make plays, weren't able to win at winning time. And then you have Cam Newton, who only played 2 games last year, didn't look very good at all. The 2 games that he played looked like a totally different player. That's coaching to a large extent. The Patriots are able to get the best out of every Patriots player, supremely talented or not. And then they cut the cord and let you go. Tom Brady, speaking of cut the cord, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are going to be looking at each other all season long like somebody who gets divorced looks at somebody else. Both of them are trying to prove that they were the reason for the Patriot dynasty. Week 1, who do you have to give the award to? If you have to give an Oscar for lifetime achievement with the New England Patriots, everybody out there saying we're calling Bill Belichick's name. He found a way to get the win with Cam Newton, with his new surrounding teammates. Meanwhile, Tom Brady went down to Tampa Bay, and his team wasn't ready for the big event, the big game against the New England Patriots. Against the New Orleans Saints. Now, remember, the Saints have been together for years. Alvin Kamara has been there working with that team. Taysom Hill, the Swiss Army knife of offensive weaponry. Michael Thomas, best receiver in the league. Drew Brees has been working with those guys for years. They have all their wrinkles. They have all their timing. They have everything ironed out and ready to go. Brady's got a lot of weapons. Mike Evans, sore hamstring, made a couple plays. Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, all of these guys, Ronald Jones, coming together and going to make plays eventually. That's an explosive cadre of talent surrounding Tom Brady, but they're not ready to do it yet. This offense didn't come out and make a ton of great plays. And so when you actually go look at the numbers, Brady wasn't ready yet. Threw the ball 36 times, 2 picks. Both those picks not very good. It wasn't like it was a tip ball and it wasn't his fault. Both of those were on him. Just not a lot of dynamicism from that offense yet, despite the fact that you have a lot of dynamic playmakers. And so when you actually look at everything, Michael Evans clearly not 100%. He's going to be, I think, Mike Evans is, really, really good with Brady when his hamstring gets better. But he had the 1 catch for a touchdown down near the goal line. Otherwise, he was not much of a threat. Godwin, when you can't let Mike Evans be the speed demon, he's not allowed to stretch the field. That changes everything. Hopefully that hamstring will not linger for a long time with him. But without any preseason games, without any ability to play together, it's not really a surprise when you really dive into it the way that they actually performed. So to me, as I am, sort of sitting around assessing the 3 biggest storylines coming out of week 1, Cowboys look like the same team. By the way, good, physical. Rams looked like a different team down the stretch. They started to play more tight end sets. They're playing a little bit more bully ball. I would say prior to that with Sean McVay sort of had the reputation of being a finesse guy. You didn't get that sense last night. I felt like the Rams kind of bullied the Cowboys around on the line of scrimmage at times. Brady not ready for a final exam yet, early exam. Drew Brees and the Saints win that battle. And the Patriots going up against the Dolphins look like they are ready to make big-time plays. A couple of other big storylines that to me stood out in the NFL universe. Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers continue to make throws that nobody else can make. I mean, both of these guys were scintillating, continue to be extraordinary at just placing the football where other people can't do it. Every game, they make a throw or two where your jaw just kind of drops and you say, man, there just aren't very many guys with the talent to make throws that these guys can from the quarterback position. Lamar Jackson. There was a suggestion. Some people were like, hey, disappointing postseason again. Maybe Lamar Jackson's going to come back. Teams will have caught up with him. If that's going to happen, it certainly didn't happen with the Cleveland Browns, who were flat out atrocious. Drew Brees, long-term success story. Baker Mayfield needs to think of himself as Drew Brees. Instead, he's running around. He's not reading the field well. I have legitimate questions about Baker Mayfield. Remember, everybody went after Freddie Kitchens. They said, oh, now you got a new coach. Things are going to be a lot better. You got two really good running backs behind Baker Mayfield, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Shouldn't be a lot of stress on him. Still got Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry. This should be an offense that can make plays. They can't. They just can't. And they continued to not be able to make plays. And if I am a Browns fan, Browns now 120-1 in their last 22 season openers. If I'm a Browns fan, I'm looking around and saying, what in the world is going on with our franchise? There was so much optimism 2 years ago when Baker Mayfield made his debut. All of last season, there was nothing to suggest that it was justified, and that continues now. Speaking of not justified, how about Sam Darnold and the Jets? They are bad. They are downright bad. I continue to believe that Josh Allen makes plays that are extraordinary, but also makes plays that are extraordinarily bad. He still plays too much like a rookie. The Redskins, what a great story. How about what happened with Ron Rivera? The guy goes in to get an IV at halftime because he's fighting cancer. His team comes back from a 17-0 deficit, takes down Carson Wentz and the Eagles, who couldn't block for him. That is ominous indeed. So many different stories we're going to continue to get into, but among them, as we run through the NFL, Cardinals, Kyler Murray on the road. I told you that I thought the NFC West is the best division in football. How good did Russell Wilson look? How good did Kyler Murray look? We got an ability of Jared Goff to get the win for the Rams in Week 1. How about the Indianapolis Colts? I want to get into this a little bit. They lost to the Jags. Their coach takes a knee, Frank Reich. I'm going to get into some of the off-the-field related incidents a little bit later in this program. So many different storylines to get into, as well as we're not going to forget college football with you because there were a lot of interesting college football games, and there continues to be a lot of drama surrounding what exactly is going to happen in the Big Ten. I will discuss that this hour as well and give you the absolute latest. But as we go to break right now, I want to tell you, go sign up for the Outkick VIP. If you love me, if you love Jason Whitlock, who will be with us tomorrow, make sure you don't miss that. We got double Monday Night Football games to discuss. If you love this program, if you like me, if you like Jason Whitlock, go sign up for Outkick VIP. Get an autographed copy of my latest book, ability to join our Outkick VIP message boards, which are very active, ability to comment on our articles, and exclusive Zoom calls with Jason Whitlock and myself. You will absolutely love them. Go get signed up today. Make sure you don't miss a minute. All you have to do is go to Outkick.com, get signed up for the VIP. I appreciate all of you. Lots to get into. It's the first Monday after the NFL begins, and everybody is either ecstatic or they are terrified of what their season might bring. We will discuss it all. This is Outkick on Fox Sports Radio.